definitely know her. I saw her earlier today.
Good morning, sir. Was there homework?
Excellent. For the pre.
I wasn't
I
just
thought
gonna
she would do for the pre.
say, music never appreciably helps me.
Who definitely was here? She went up and checked it out.
So this will be in there also.
Good morning. How are you doing? Doing good?
So it just, okay.
Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Here we go. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. The next part. Aye, aye, aye. Keep going down. Aye, aye, aye. You got this. The words are easy. Aye, aye, aye. Aye, aye, aye. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye. Drums make everything better. Aye, 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 aye. I know some of you are hearing harmony. Go for it. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 one last time, here we go. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 Yay, Lynn. Yay, Lynn. I know, right? It's like it's fun, and then Lynn starts like, oh, yeah. So, continuing with our open theme, keep your heart wide open. Your turn. Keep your heart wide open. My turn. Though the waves tend to push you around. So we go. It's want. The word is want, not tend. I don't know why I'm saying that. So, though the waves, ready? Though the waves want to push you around. Let's do that one again. Though the waves want to push you around. Let's do that whole first phrase. You got to keep. Here we go. Keep your heart wide open, though the waves want to push you around. We're going to go on. You'll echo. Here we go. I'll sing it. Keep your heart wide open. Your turn. Keep your heart wide open. That sounds familiar, right? Here's the ending. Till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Your turn, here we go. Till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Let's do the whole thing. Here we go. Keep your heart wide open, though the waves want to push you around. Do that first phrase again. Keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back, till your faith brings you back to solid ground. You got it, whole thing. Keep your heart wide open, though the waves want to push you around. Keep it open. Keep your heart wide open, though the waves, till your faith, I didn't know where I was, brings you back to solid ground. One more time, because now we've got it. You've got it, I don't. Keep your heart wide open, though the waves want to push you around. Keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. So, yeah, right? There we go. So just before I take my seat, I'm trying not to get verklempt here, but some of you know our friend Jack passed away this past week on Monday, our piano player friend Jack Forbes Wilson. And so there is a memorial celebration of his life at the Playhouse today from 5 to 7. So if people want to go and meet his sisters and talk about what a great guy Jack was, we'll all be there doing that. So just want to say that before I go on. And we're good to start? All right, Evelyn, you're on. Thanks.
We open our service this morning by lighting the chalice with the words titled "The Struggle for Freedom" by Paul Sprecher. We light this chalice in memory of the courage of those who have struggled for freedom, the persistence of those who have struggled for justice, and the love of those who have built beloved communities to carry on the light of hope.
Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. My name is Jason Slaughter. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm a worship associate and a member of this church. And I am glad you all are here. And whoever's watching YouTube, thanks for watching. So this month's theme is about cultivating compassion. The eye of compassion, though, is something that is warm and tender. But compassion, it can also drive us to look deeper into our souls that drive us to action. Today we'll be talking about the compassion for oneself in the form of forgiveness. This morning, you all may have been offered a piece of paper to engage with. Now, if you don't have one, raise your hands, and I'm sure our ushers will make sure you get one. But this is essentially a little poll I'm asking you to do. It says, are you currently dealing with a hurt, habit, or hang-up? What I ask is that if you feel comfortable, to circle one or that you may be currently dealing with, but that's really all I'm asking you to do. Now, if you want to circle more than one, you're more than welcome to as well. But we ask for no specifics. This is just a poll. During the offering here shortly, just place that little piece of paper in the offering place, and the ushers will give me those slips, and I'll provide the results during my sermon today. Today, though, we will start the process to be vulnerable and cultivate compassion for our own souls. Unitarian Universalism places a significant emphasis on self-forgiveness as a vital part of our own personal growth and full understanding of our own well-being. Even though it may be difficult because we're very hard on ourselves, it will help us move forward in this world so that we commit to having a better future. Now let me introduce Leslie, our board member, as she's going to do the offering and give us the lowdown of what's going on in our community.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I am Leslie Ryan, a member of the Board of Trustees. I want to offer a special welcome to those of you who are visiting for the first time. Each week we take up a collection to support the work of this church and our partners in the community. We do this just because as we all grow from our participation in this community, we all give back through our time, our talent, and our treasure. The ushers will please pass our offering plates. You can also give by texting UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. That's UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. The offering will now be gratefully received. I have a few announcements to share as our church community extends beyond Sunday morning worship. Pledge letters were mailed October 2nd. Check in with the church office if you want to fill out your pink pledge form today. I'm going to try hard to remember to walk out without having left it behind. They're stacked on the counter there. Our blessing of the animal service will be held on October 26th. Please submit photos or short videos of your pets to be included in the service. The link is in your Friday e-blast. Deadline is October 12th. Finally, we hope you will join us for the next Wonderful Wednesday on October 15th. New this month, we are offering Valentino's Pizza for $1 a slice. You can also get a free professional photo in addition to other fun programming. And today we will have a newcomer chat right after the service in the library. Please stop by the tree in the gallery. You are welcome.
Leslie, would you take that?
My name's Elisa Hawk. I use she, her pronouns. So why do I, actually Bob and I, why do we pledge?
because love is at the heart of it. When I think about why we pledge, I think about connections, like the connections that surprise you and root you deeply. Roots hold me close. Like when I met Bob. One of our first dates was coffee after a church service. Yes, that kind of romantic. Bob isn't known exactly for being a chatterbox, but that day we just kept talking about life and music and family and the world. Turns out my dad and Bob were both musicians in Northwest Iowa, and they knew some of the same people. What are the chances? It felt like all roads and all the quirky coincidences were leading us right here to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. So why do we pledge? We pledge because we want to do our part and because this community matters. Years ago, someone challenged us to aim for the 3% giving goal. At that time, between daycare bills and dance lessons, we couldn't leap to it. We could inch to it. Some years we managed a 0.5% increase. Not flashy, but steady. Over time, those small steps built a habit, a generosity habit, a generosity muscle we still try to flex today. We pledge so our staff are fairly paid, and because we want to be people who give what we can and grow in the process. Generosity. So why did we increase? One word. Meredith. Meredith Anderson, age 5 or 6. Our daughter and Meredith became fast friends. It wasn't just friendship. Julie Anderson created something special, magical, with the 1 hour choir. And Chelsea created a space where Julia could be herself outside of our home and flourish. I remember thinking, if I die tomorrow, Julia will be okay because she knows how to love and be loved. It's that kind of village this church created for Julia. Julie, Chelsea, Molly, Sandra, so many others wrapped her in love. And that love carried her through the years. So much love that now, as Julia plans her wedding to her amazing fiance, Emily, she does so without fear. Her dream of a joyful, full of family, Bride magazine level celebration is just reality now. Because this community helped her grow up believing she belonged. That's why we pledge. Why else do we pledge? We pledge because we stand on the shoulders of giants, well, pledges of giants, people like Charles and Lois who built and sustained this place for us. We want to carry that love forward because this church has always stood for justice and inclusion. We pledge to keep that work going. I'll admit, not long ago, I caught myself wondering, what if this church ceased to exist? It was a moment of scarcity thinking, obviously not abundance mindset. But it kind of shook me, and I realized I don't want to imagine a world without this community. So we pledge for the future, for a thriving Unitarian Church of Lincoln that continues to lift people up, offer safe harbor, and serve as a sanctuary for those who seek a bold, loving, liberal faith tradition. That is why we give. That is why we pledge generosity.
So much for club today. Why don't we rise in body and spirit?
There is more love somewhere.
If we can have any of our young people, young at heart, come on up. I've got something to interact with you guys today. All right, come on down. I'm not too scary. Oh, hi, how are you all today? What's this? What do you do with it? You put stuff in it. My backpack's empty though. But, you know, when you put stuff into your backpack, you carry it around and you use it for whatever's in there, right? It gets heavier and heavier. That's right, it does. But you know what else we also keep in our backpacks? Something that we carry around? Well, our hearts carry around a lot of different things as well, right? So I need a volunteer to wear my backpack. You want to do it, Emma? Come on down. All right. Here, go ahead and put it on. All right. How does it feel? Pretty light? All right, that's good. Now, here, throughout life, sometimes things happen. Sometimes we may get hurt. What things hurt you? Like, what was something like, for example, like if someone calls you a name, or any ideas what would do that? Go ahead. If someone kicks you, oh yeah. Any other examples that might hurt? Yeah, go ahead. If you trip and stop bleeding, yeah, that could hurt as well, right? Well, some of those hurts are like, they can be like rocks, right? And sometimes you'll hold on to those. So if you have ever experienced a hurt, you might put it in, that might be in your backpack. So if any of you have a hurt, there's some rocks here. I don't want you to have these rocks here, but take these. If you've ever had a hurt, put it in the backpack. Go put it. Okay. No, I'm gonna take that one. No, the gray ones leave alone for just the ones in the box or in front. Okay. All right. Now sometimes those hurts can turn to anger, right? Anger feelings, and then ultimately those hurts can turn into grudges. And they just get heavier and heavier, don't they? So, what if these hurts and maybe some hang-ups go into that backpack? And maybe... So, how's that backpack feeling, Emma? Is it heavy? Oh my gosh. Oh, we want to see how heavy that back. Oh my, you doing okay? All right, so let me zip it up a little bit so none of these rocks come out. All right, so, all right, now, what do we do with these rocks? Do we just carry them around all the time? Oh, really? We shouldn't, but you know what? Here at Unitarian Universalism, in our faith, we talk about spiritual growth, about becoming the best and happiest version of ourselves. It's really hard to grow and be happy when our backpack is so heavy, isn't it? So we learn how to forgive. It isn't about saying the bad thing didn't happen. It's about letting someone off the hook for a mistake. Forgiveness is a gift that we give to ourselves. So ultimately, what we want to do is take these rocks out and say, I'm sorry, and release those hurts, those habits, and those hang-ups. So that way, we can start living our best lives, and we're feeling a little bit lighter, and that we can live our best selves and our best lives together. What do you guys think about that? You like that idea? Does it feel a little bit lighter now? Oh no! Let's forgive these little hurts. Let's get these rocks right on out of these backpacks. Take your rock out and say, I'm sorry and I forgive myself for these angers and hurts and habits. and put them back in the box. Is it your? Put them back in the box. So thank you for being a part of this little lesson we have today. But Emma's showing her strength today by holding all those hurts and habits. Thank you so much. What? Look at those. Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you all, and enjoy your classes. We're going to class today, but let's go ahead and see you later, alligator.
See you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. We send you out with love and a smile. Thank you for the lessons that you freely share, from the way you play to the way you care. See you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. We send you out with love and a smile. Thank you for the lessons that you freely share, from the way you play to the way you care.
Thank you all. I have my friend Brett. He's a friend of our church. I'd like for him to share his story with us today. Brett?
Buenos dias. Good morning. My name is Brett Edward Avila. My pronouns are he, his, and I've been a UU since 2008. I've attended services in Denver, Cheyenne, Scottsbluff, Omaha, and I've been coming here for over a year. It's both an honor and a humbling experience to stand before you today and share a glimpse of my story. This morning, I want to reflect on our theme of forgiveness, what it's meant in my journey, how I wrestle with it today, and how you might be able to support other justice-impacted people like myself. Many of my peers want to experience the same sense of community and belonging that I have found here. And I want to give a special shout out to 4 of my friends and coworkers from Uribe who came to church this morning to support me. They're all back there, so thank you. I've been both the hero and the villain in my own life story. Right now, I'm incarcerated at the Community Corrections Work Release Center of Lincoln, serving a 3-year prison sentence for possession with intent to deliver methamphetamine. One of my greatest struggles has always been self-forgiveness. In the villain in my story, I have used and sold drugs, shoplifted and lied, manipulated, been an unreliable employee, neglected my pets, and even sold myself to pay for the coffin of my addiction. I attempted suicide twice because of the self-loathing that overwhelmed me. Without the ability to forgive myself, I spiraled downward, recycling resentment, fear, silence, and shame. For a long time, I could hardly stomach the person staring back at me in the mirror. As the hero in my life story, I've lived a life of service to others through my career in public health, working to prevent and treat HIV and AIDS. Like Eleanor Roosevelt, I consider myself to be a fighter of unpopular causes. I've marched to Nebraska and Colorado state capitol buildings standing on the side of love. I founded a gay-straight alliance in the conservative rural town of Sidney, Nebraska, where I taught high school. Along the way, I graduated valedictorian, became the first of my family to earn a college degree, raised over $1 million for children impacted by HIV and AIDS, and was even awarded Nebraska's new World Language Teacher of the Year. Ironically, these accomplishments and accolades made it even harder to forgive myself. The higher I rose, the more afraid I became of failing. I held myself to unrealistic standards, and when I inevitably fell short, I concealed my faults not only from others, but from myself. In some ways, success became another mask that I wore, and the heavier it grew, the harder it became to take off. So what lessons about forgiveness might I offer you? First, I face others' flaws with compassion. Recently, friends have lied to me, family has stolen from me, the system has failed me, fellow inmates have conned me, and significant others have abandoned me. I live alongside men convicted of sexually abusing children, of the very trauma that I endured as a child. These experiences left deep scars that shaped me and fueled many of the struggles that I've had to overcome. Living among these men forces me to confront old wounds every single day. And it challenges me to wrestle with what forgiveness really means when it's not just theoretical, but face to face. This reality could easily fill me with anger, but instead I choose forgiveness so that I'm not consumed by hate. St. Francis of Assisi once prayed, quote, "It is in pardoning that we are pardoned," close quote. His reminder emboldens me to meet others with mercy and compassion. Furthermore, extending forgiveness with compassion does not mean that I allow people to continue to harm me. I've learned that forgiving someone is not the same thing as excusing their behavior, and I aim to extend grace without letting myself be taken advantage of. Setting healthy boundaries is still essential. With intentional inner work, I've also come to see that many people act out of their own wounds, shame, and fear, not dissimilar from my own. When someone wrongs me, I remind myself that they too were once a child, likely carrying their own pain and perhaps even their own trauma. Their choices may not be okay, but seeing their full humanity helps me respond with less judgment. Second, I reflect on my own part in an offense. If my niece steals from me, for example, I try to remember that I too have once caused that same pain on others. In that way, her actions mirror my own past behavior, and I can choose humility instead of self-righteousness. Forgiveness becomes less about her actions and more about my own growth. Third and finally, I choose forgiveness over retaliation, which has gifted me peace, wisdom, and the ability to begin forgiving myself. In prison, I am often disempowered, and there are times when I have to bite my tongue when I would much rather lash out. But I've discovered that if I pause, if I resist the impulse, time often uncovers a deeper understanding of the other person, the situation, and myself. And for that, I'm grateful. Forgiveness is not glamorous. It does not happen in a single moment. It's a daily work and a discipline that I must practice. Practice in this case does not make perfect, but it does make better, and it does make permanent. And here's the ultimate paradox. When I extend grace to others, I begin to believe that I am worthy of it myself. When I forgive someone else's lie or betrayal or failure, I chip away at the heavy wall of shame that has kept me from believing that I also deserve forgiveness. In the style of our own minister, Reverend A.J. Galazin, here's your homework, should you choose to accept it. Number 1, face others' flaws with compassion. Number 2, reflect honestly on your own part in the hurt. And number 3, choose mercy over retaliation so that peace can take root. Compassion, humility, mercy. Say it with me. Compassion, humility, and mercy. I want to close by saying that a number of the folks at the Work Release Center have told me that they would love to come here for church. For us, attendance is more than simply sitting through a service. It's one of the few places where we get to feel human again, where we're seen for more than our worst mistake. But that only happens if there are volunteers who are willing to sponsor and bring us here. Sponsorship goes both ways. You give us a chance to be part of the community, and in return, our stories and struggles shape you as well. That's what I think Unitarian Universalism is all about. Seeing the worth and dignity in every person and remembering that we are all connected. If that resonates with you and you'd like to learn more, find me after the service and let's chat. And finally, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for hearing my story. And thank you for reminding me that forgiveness is not just a theme. It's something we must actively practice. And the more we practice it with compassion, humility, and mercy, the more it grows inside all of us.
by Robert Owens, a African-American composer active in Germany. The UNL just recently celebrated his centenary. He was born in 1925 and died, I think, in 2007. 17. Never mind.
This is not part of what I was given to read today. But Brett, that takes courage to come up here and say those things. And I appreciate you sharing your life with us. And I'm so happy that you feel that you have found a home with us. And thank you for coming, and thank you for staying. Now I have to read this. You have moved me, obviously. This is Prayer for Cultivating Compassion for Oneself by Reverend Michelle Collins. Source of love, we come carrying the weight of our own harsh verdicts, guilty, insufficient, forever falling short of some impossible standard. We who would never speak to a friend the way we speak to ourselves in the dark hours before dawn. There is a tenderness that we save for others, that we ration from our own souls. A forgiveness we grant freely to strangers, while our own mistakes echo endlessly in memory's courtroom. We have learned to be generous with everyone but the person in the mirror. Teach us the revolutionary act of self-befriending. When shame whispers its familiar poison, may we remember we are not our worst moments. We are not the sum of our regrets. We are beloved, imperfect, gloriously human, worthy of the same gentle mercy we yearn to give the world. May we learn that loving ourselves is not vanity, but necessity, the deep well from which all other love must flow.
Every day I get out of bed, I do my morning routine. But at some point after my shower and before brushing my teeth, I look in the mirror. I look at myself and I look at that human being staring back at me. You know, it's very strange to look at yourself sometimes. You don't know what you're going to see, but when I do look at myself, I see in my eyes my own personal history. I don't know about you, but for so many years, what I saw was my mistakes that I made throughout my life. I didn't really like what I looked at. I was ashamed more than often than not at who I was. As I was discriminating earlier during Time for All Ages, that was a very heavy burden to carry around with me day in and day out. To make it in the world, though, for all these hurts and things I didn't like, I had to mask up. I pretended to be fine. I hid that pain from all the mistakes I've made throughout my life. For the longest time, I didn't know what to do with all that pain. In my life, and probably a lot of other lives too, I had to ultimately take a hard look at my life and ultimately come out of denial and take off that mask and be truthful for who I am. I remember the moment 18 years ago, actually this month in October, that I was at that fork in the road. I had just been recently kicked out of my home, on my way to divorce. I only had my car, a suitcase with some clothes in it, a blanket, and a pillow. I was staying in a room to rent at someone's home I found on Craigslist. I was separated from my 2-year-old son, and my parents were so angry at me they weren't even speaking to me. I was sitting there against the wall on the floor of an unfinished room, and I saw that fork in the road of my life. Do I continue living on that life that I've been accustomed to, or will I start changing and addressing those hurts, habits, and hang-ups I've had for all my life? It was overwhelming, to say the least. I looked at that choice that was put in front of me. It didn't look like a clear choice, to be totally honest. I mean, one choice looked comfortable in what I've been doing for all my life. Why wouldn't I keep on doing what I've been doing? The other one was unknown. I had no idea what was going to be in store for me. I chose to change. I went through an intense recovery period for about 4 years. I went to support groups, saw a professional counselor, and I learned a lot about what it needed to start a real change in my life. And it felt like my life was finally just beginning. Now here, at the Unitarian Church of Lincoln, we have a vision statement, and it states, a loving community united reason with spiritual exploration to transform ourselves and our world. That's a pretty powerful vision statement, don't you think? But there's a section in there, transform ourselves. What do we want to do with that? Where do we begin that process? What am I transforming? These are questions I asked, and maybe you've asked yourself when it comes to dealing with who you are. I know since becoming a member of this church, I've been challenged to look at many issues I have and continue working on those issues. It comes down to looking into that mirror every day and seeing what needs to be addressed in my life. A lot of those issues, though, are mistakes we have done to others and to ourselves. We carry that hurt of that mistake for years upon years. Some of those issues are habits that we've created through the many years of doing the same thing over and over again that have been harmful to you and maybe to others. Or maybe we've been hung up with a mental, emotional difficulty, or it is a psychological block, or just a persistent fixation about something. These are just things that we need to face and look at forgiving and letting go of those issues in our lives. Forgiveness does not require a spiritual process. It can be a psychological and emotional process focusing on letting go of the resentment, anger, and shame of your own well-being. It honestly seems really easy when I just say it out loud. But it is through a chosen journey that the road of forgiveness can be long or short. To forgive yourself can take that certain amount of time, but you should also realize that it could be a lifelong process. We have to move forward with our lives and to do it in a healthiest manner as possible. For when it comes to forgiveness, we do have to, though, distinguish that it may not come with reconciliation. Keep this in mind. Forgiveness is a one-way street. It is a personal, solo act of letting go of that hurt, habit, or hang-up. With reconciliation, though, it is a two-way street. It is the result of both parties actively working to restore their relationship. The offending party must show genuine remorse, acknowledge the harm, apologize, and then the big one, commit to changing their behavior to rebuild the trust that was broken. While true reconciliation cannot happen without forgiveness, forgiveness does not require reconciliation. You can forgive someone of your own peace and healing without letting them back into your life or resuming the personal relationship, especially if that offender is unrepentant or poses a continual threat. It is not unusual to keep coming back to this process time over again. That's completely normal. You may also need help with this process. You do not have to do this alone. Being vulnerable about these hurts, these habits, and these hang-ups is not easy. And you want maybe to find a person or a group who is open to listen and to be non-judgmental. It may require a professional or maybe a support group who have been in the very similar shoes that you are currently in. If you're ready to take that journey, then you can reach out to the staff. They know who to contact. They knew how to get you in touch, or maybe someone in this very community to work with you to get the help that you may desperately need. Now, you may also be at a point in your life that you've already done the work and you got past those hurts, habits, and hang-ups. And now you're in a position to help someone else. You may have heard the parable about the person who fell in a hole. And that hole was so steep that they couldn't climb out. This person was so upset and scared and cried out for help from inside that hole. A doctor walked by, saw that person, just wrote a prescription, threw it in the hole, and walked away. A pastor walked by, saw them in the hole, wrote a prayer on a piece of paper, threw it in the hole, and walked away. But then, what seemed like just a regular person came walking along and saw that scared individual calling for help from that hole. So what did they do? Jay jumped in the hole with them. And that scared individual was surprised at why they jumped in the hole. And they asked, "Why did you do that? We're now both stuck in that hole." And that person said, "Well, you know what? Yes, I jumped in. But you know what? I also know the way out because I've been down here before." This is a challenge to be able to give back your experience and knowledge to help one another with transforming ourselves. I personally have had help from people that have been in the hole, that helped me get out of that hole. Over these years, I've made my own personal transformation and to understand how to forgive myself. You may find the opportunity to give back, whether it being a mentor, a sponsor, volunteering with pastoral care here at this church, or maybe you're just going to talk to someone while having coffee after service. Be aware of that moment. Ask yourself, are you ready to help when help is needed? I think the most accurate way to view forgiveness is as complex a human quality that is built on an innate capacity, but also requires a deliberate learning and effort to fully achieve. In our soul, we have the innate capacity to forgive, and it's a product of human social evolution. But the act of forgiveness in the face of a specific hurt is generally a learned skill and a conscious choice to overcome the more immediate, instinctual feelings of anger, vengeance, and shame. As we began our service, I asked you all from that little piece of paper if you're dealing with a hurt, habit, or a hang-up. We got a tally. We have 27 people circled hurts, 32 people circled habits, 33 people circled hang-ups. We are a community that needs support in how we handle our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Let us find the grace to listen to our neighbor and to allow them to find freedom of their own personal forgiveness. It gets down to coming back to that mirror and looking to that reflection of who we see in that mirror. And that we see that we do have inherent worth. And that this life we live means something. We need to engage in the work of forgiveness, as this will be a gift we give to ourselves. This path will bring us a healing and greater freedom in our lives. It just takes one step to start that journey towards a more full life. So ultimately, we are strong enough to make that transformation to be a better human being. And who knows? Due to the work you do, we may have an opportunity to change this world. Thank you. As we exchange his chalice, I have the words from Reverend Dr. David Breeding, practice the growing. Go out into the world, not to be perfect, but to practice. To be a practitioner of compassion. Wherever you go today, may you seed compassion. May your hands remember how to tend, and your heart how to return, when compassion is hard. For no garden grows in a day, but they grow. Go in peace and practice growing. Thank you for coming.